Not necessarily you use the naming convention I'm using, but it's important you give every object appropriate name on the screen. So I've applied animation to you are correct, and it's showing in the animation play. If I play it, that's how it's going to appear. So you can play and see how the animation will appear here. So by clicking on this play button. But I want it to appear by when I click on true. That is when I want it to appear. So you click on this arrow beside you are correct and click on timing. So you have this dialog box. You have effect tab and timing tab. Make sure timing tab is open. When you click on triggers, when you click on triggers, you select start effect on click off. So you see why the naming convention is important here. When you don't name it, you can be confused. When you say group 13, object 13, 30.7, like we have 30.7, 30.14, you need to be able to know which one do you want to set trigger on. So this is our trigger. Let me cancel again and start. I'm working on this animation. This you are correct. I want it to appear when something happens, when I trigger something. So you click here, you click on timing, then you make sure timing tab is open here. We have two tabs, effect and timing. Then you click on triggers. So you now click this button that says start the effect on the click of true. So let this animation appears when student click on true and say OK. So that is that. So we click on you are wrong and set animation for it. Let's click wheel and let's set time 0.5 seconds. So you can see that the symbol 1 is appearing, but this one has changed from 1 to something like trigger. This is a trigger symbol, but this animation symbol 1, you should be familiar with this. You have been using PowerPoint and animation. So this is symbol of animation. No trigger has been applied or you are wrong. If I want to apply trigger, I will click on it, especially the outer rectangle there, because this is a group of two objects. So when I click on it, it will be selected. You see, we have two. We are correct, we are wrong, but you can see a gray rectangle around this one. It means that is the current object you are selecting under animation. So you click on this arrow beside it, click on timing, click on triggers, click on start, effect on click, and click on false. I want it to appear when I click false. When the student click false and say OK. So that is let me close that. So that is the animation. So let's see whether it works. If you go to slideshow and click from beginning, so you can see that this is the first screen. You normally go from one slide to another by pressing arrow down. So when I press arrow down, those ones are not shown because they only show when I trigger them. So you can see that my arrow is changing to hand to tell you that when you click on this, it says you are correct. When you click on this, it says you are false, that you are not, you are wrong. So you can see how that works. Okay, so when you click on that, that is the end of that show. You can see that triggers are very good in making some effects in your PowerPoint presentation. Now, but there is a problem. The problem is this. When I start let me start from beginning again, the slideshow. If I click this thing, the second page load, the second slide load. But if I click on the F2 parts, what happened? It says end of slideshow without letting me see the effect. So you are going to disable clicking, that it can only move after you are through with that slide. When you are sure the student has tested whether he got the right answer or he got it wrong, and get the feedback you are correct and you are wrong. So I hope you get what I'm trying to say here. When I go to slideshow and I want to begin the slideshow, this is my first slide. When I click, I go to the second slide. You know, you can move from one slide to another by clicking on the empty space or by pressing arrow down on your keyboard. Now, Before the student begins to answer the question whether true or false, if you mistakenly click here, the slide will go to end of show, which I don't want. So I'm going to slideshow. I will go to setup slideshow. Then I will say browse at kiosk, browse at a kiosk, that is full screen. So that will disable the clicking. It's going to disable. So when I say OK, so that will happen there. So let's see whether it works. If I go to slideshow, if I click, nothing is happening. It's not moving. So how do I move from one slide to another slide? You can hear my clicking. Nothing is moving because I've gone to slideshow. I have said browse at a kiosk. So when you make this setting, nobody will be able to advance to your slide. Let's leave it like that. So how do we move from one slide to another slide? So that is the next thing I want to address now. So if you want to do that, if you want to be able to allow your audience or your student to move from one slide to another slide, you simply go to Insert, you go to Shape, then you pick this action button. You can see there are different action buttons. We have Previous, we have Next, we have Go back to the beginning, go back to the end, we have Home. Please follow my cursor and see my pointer here. So if you want to put action button for Previous, you go to Shape, you click on this Previous, then you draw it here. So then a dialog box will quickly open, and there are cool things you can do here. So when you hover mouse, you can set it, but this is a mouse. I want mouse click. I don't want mouse over. So now, what is the action you want? Go to previous slide. So when somebody click on that button, you should go to previous slide. Say OK. Then you go to Shape again, pick Next button, and draw it somewhere here. So the default action is next slide. So leave it as that. Say OK. Let me resize this. Okay. Then you still go to your Insert. You go to Shape. You click Home. This is a symbol for Home. That is, go to the first page. That is the meaning. So go to the first slide. The first slide. Say OK. So automatically these buttons will work. All you need to do is to copy them. You select them. If you want to select, you can go to Home. You go to Select. You click on Select Object. Your arrow will point to the left direction. Then you can draw a rectangle on 3 of them. You Ctrl C. You go to the second slide and you Ctrl V. It will be automatically pasted. You can see that I have it on first and I have it on the second slide. So let's see whether this works. Let's see whether it works. Now, if I go to slideshow and I say from beginning, you see I've disabled clicking on the empty space for advancing. I've even disabled keyboard. Keyboard will not even work. So the only thing that will make your student move from one slide to another is this button. If I go to Next, you can see that it's working now. So if you click True, you are correct, it's appearing, then the student can proceed. So it goes back to the first slide. So it will be cycling like that again. So what do we do? Let's escape. Let's escape and go to this slide. So what we do is that in the last slide, we just simply remove this. We remove this to tell people that we have come to the end of the slide. So if I begin the slideshow from beginning now, and I move to the next, so if there is no next slide, then I can click Home and go back to the beginning. So this is a simple demonstration of triggers in Microsoft PowerPoint. In the next video, I'm going to show you more advanced way of using trigger. Thank you for listening.